Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can watch BBC iPlayer from Italy. Now, as you're probably aware, anyone outside the UK won't have access to BBC iPlayer. Let me just show you quickly what happens if you try and access it when you're in Italy. Okay, so if you go to the BBC website, first thing you'll notice that happens is you'll get redirected to the international version of the BBC, which is like a quite cool news website, but you may notice that along here there's no tab for BBC iPlayer. That's because it's checked your IP address, and in this case it's seen an Italian IP address, so routed to the international version. If we go directly to the BBC iPlayer without letting it reroute, you can see we can get to the BBC iPlayer site. However, if we try and watch anything, let's just click here, watching something called Ghosts, which is quite a funny little comedy on BBC One. You'll get this message here which says BBC iPlayer only works in the UK. The BBC has checked our IP address, and even though I've got a valid account and everything like that, it's blocked me because I'm not based in the UK. So what do we do to get around this? Well, it's kind of sounds complicated, but it isn't. It's quite simple. What you have to do is use something called a VPN. So let me just close this down now, and then I'll show you how this works. So what we've got to do is fool the BBC that we're not actually in Italy or anywhere outside the UK, that we are in Britain itself. So let me just show you now how that's done. Okay, so what I have to do is fire up the VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. Sounds all complicated, but in effect it's a little tool, service you subscribe to. There is a subscription fee you have to pay for this to keep it running. It's not a lot though, and now we'll show you how to work this. As you can see here, there's servers all over the world. There's, I think, about 600 servers in most countries in the world. But what we're going to have to do is to fool the BBC iPlayer. We need a British one. Now, this is a very important step here. If you're using NordVPN, don't just click on the UK or click on Quick Connect. What you need to do is to use one of NordVPN's special BBC iPlayer optimized servers. Now, about 3-4 years ago, the BBC started blocking most of these VPNs, and most of them don't work anymore. A few do, and NordVPN is one of them, but they have done it by actually optimizing certain servers to work with the BBC. So I'll show you a list of the servers that you have to use. Other servers might work, but you're much easier to use the optimized one for the BBC. Okay, so I've used one of these servers, and I've connected there. Can you see I've just connected? And now my internet connection is being routed through a VPN server in the UK. So any site I go to won't actually see my real IP address. It'll just see that of the VPN, which we will use to our advantage. Now, let me just start a browser, and let's go to the BBC again. Okay, here we're going to BBC iPlayer. Remember, we're going to the same site now, and we're just clicking on Watch Now. And this time, of course, the BBC should hopefully only see my UK IP address of the VPN server. So we just click on here, and this is where we got stuck last time. And you can see here, it'll just buffer a little bit there, and we're playing. I'll just pause that. This YouTube's BBC gets upset if you stream their content over YouTube. It's not the point of this video, is to show that it is accessible, and hopefully there you could see it works, and we can maximize it on the full screen, change all its settings. BBC iPlayer will work perfectly. The reason is because now it doesn't know where I am. It thinks I'm in the UK, okay? And you can see all the different functionality of BBC iPlayer. These are all I think there's 11 live channels. And if you scroll down, you can see all the archive. There's literally thousands of programs. Now, you need a BBC account for this. If you've already got one, fine, just follow me, what I've done here. If you haven't, you will need to create one, but make sure you connect to a UK VPN before you create the account. It'll ask you things about, have you got a TV license? You just need to say yes, there's no check. And it'll ask you for a UK postcode. Just grab any valid postcode off the internet, that'll work. All you need then is an email address. Don't worry about this, it's create an account, but it's more to do with keeping track of your viewings, so that if you watch 6 of a box set, you'll go on the 7th and that sort of thing. And that's all it is to it, really. The bonus is that it will also work on ITV Channel 4 and Channel 5. I'm just going to show you now the optimized servers. These are really important. Always use these if you're using NordVPN. Okay, so just search on them. You can search on any of the numbers. There's about 30 odd here. So, for instance, 1913 or 1911. Just put that in the search box of your VPN. And use one of those servers. These are optimized for the BBC. They basically swap the IP addresses and make sure that not too many people are using them at the same time. And it helps stop the BBC blocking them. Other the IP addresses work, but these are much easier, and they nearly always work for me. And that's about it, really. There are other VPNs that work. There's not that many. There's about half a dozen that are reliable now. The big purge the BBC did a few years ago caught most services out, except for a few. If you want to try NordVPN, they're always offering discounts, but you can find their latest discount page. This URL will change to the latest page, so you might find it's a Christmas discount or a Black Friday discount or whatever, but you'll get the best discount if you use the URL below in the description. Any problems or questions, please pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. So this is how to watch the BBC iPlayer in Italy. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.